Joining me right now is Eternal MMA lightweight champion, Josh Togo, man. Always good to get you back on the show. How you living?
I'm good, brother. Good. Same thing, different day. Just working, training. Pre-COVID, post-COVID. During COVID. It's good. It's back to reality here in Australia. Hopefully, and yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of things that's going on in Australia that limited training and even promotions putting on shows. How has COVID affected your life?
For me, I was actually fortunate enough because the work I do, I was able to work during the whole COVID process. So, as I said, I was fortunate to still have a job, still making income, and just doing the work we were doing. And also with my training, I mean, gyms were closed and shops, all that stuff during COVID. But I was still training, doing my outdoor activities, my running and swimming, just making use of what I had during those times. But yeah, no different from what I was doing in the gym or training outside of the gym. So yeah, I was during those times I was just very fortunate, and I was glad that I still had a job and making income.
Conditioning, that was a big part of your workouts for many months in a row.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously the gyms were closed, but we got back, and when the gyms got proved to be open again, we got back in there and got back to work.
With doing a lot of cardio and things like that, of course, people are going to point to that and say, hey, man, Josh is going to come back and he's going to have more in the gas tank. It's not like you've ever had a problem with cardio, but man, if you could add more to that gas tank, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, so like I said, during those times when COVID hit, I was still training, I was still doing my running, still doing my swimming and stuff. But as you're saying, with that conditioning, getting back into the gym when the doors open again, and getting back into that grind and getting conditioned hard, and I was really getting ready for whatever was available, whether it was in Australia or internationally.
Yeah, you fought internationally in 2020 at the beginning of the year, and I was thinking Josh probably will end up fighting for UAE Warriors again, but it just never materialized. What was going on? Was it the travel restrictions that kind of blocked you from that?
Yeah, so we fought in UAE Warriors in January. Got the unanimous dub. Fought Ben Wall on Eternal after that, like 4 weeks later. COVID hit, but then it started to slow down a bit, and then we were lining up to fight in UAE Warriors. I think it was end of July or maybe August. It was against, we had two opponents lined up. One was Dean Barry. He was the initial opponent, and then he pulled out because, once again, travel restrictions from his end. So I think it was Izzy or Izzadine. But travel restrictions made it very difficult. You could get apply for an exemption, but it was, by the time we were coming back in Australia, the laws or restrictions here were very tough at the times. Having to pay $3,000 in a hotel, you know what I mean? I haven't got that kind of money just coming out of my pockets. So, and then having to isolate for 14 days. We just sort of just said, you know what, we'll just wait until everything goes back to normality for Australia and the rest of the world. But, it would have been good to fight back on UAE Warriors, and hopefully I get to fight back on that show again in the upcoming future.
Yeah, I look forward to you going back out there. There's a lot of good competition, and they seem to be getting a little bit more exposure. And a lot of the guys that fight for UAE Warriors, they end up getting signed and picked up by major promotions.
Yeah, 100%. Like, that UAE Warriors, honestly, was one of my favorite promotions to fight on. It's a world stage platform. They look after their fighters. And it was good to sort of fight internationally. That's my first international fight, and sort of get my name out there on the world stage. It's it meant a big deal for me, and it was really it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, so you go 3 rounds in that fight. You get the decision. You turn it back around, I believe, like a little bit over a month later against Ben Wall, a UFC vet, and you just go in there and do phenomenally. Was that like your masterpiece? Like you did, it was incredible, man. Your performance.
Which fight? The one,
The Ben Wall fight.
Ben War. Yeah. Look, we stuck to a game plan. And Ben War, he's a tough fighter. He's a tough grappler. He's been around. We know what he was going to come into the game plan with, but we stuck to our game plan and just capitalized on it, and got the second round TKO, and it was a good victory.
If anybody that knows you knows you're very humble. You're not a guy that's going to be out there talking crazy about people, and and confidence is a big thing in this sport, right? So how much confidence did you build off defeating Ben Wall and defending the title?
Look, it's not about the confidence. I guess just, to me, in the way I think, like, Ben Wall is even though he's a UFC vet, he's no different from any other fighter I've fought before, or any fighters I'm going to probably be facing. They're just, the way I think, like, all these fighters that I'm going to be up against, they're just obstacles in my way. They're obstacles in my way to climbing to the top. And I don't care if it's Ben Wall. I don't care if it's, look, I'm still humble in my presence, but I say this because, like, this is the way, like, my mentality thinks. I don't care who it is. I just got to go in there, do my job, and get that victory. I'm just focusing on one thing and one thing only, and that's getting that win. And it doesn't matter who's in front of me. That's what I'm going to do.
You had that 3-fight slump in the middle of your career so far, right? And what is the difference now, man? You've reeled off so many fights in a row, and you just look better and better every fight. You say it's not really the confidence, but what is it? Is it the training? Is it the mental? What's going on? What changed?
It's I think back then I was just in a slump within myself. I was going through a bit of adversity at training, in my head, at work. And just maybe from that first loss, I guess I didn't really think about how to overcome that next fight that was coming up. And once again, like, the guys I lost against, they're not just fighters. They're tough fighters. Like, one of my Dan Hill's training partners, Jackson Small, Jamie Malaki, who's in the UFC, Aiden Aguilera, who's fought on UAE Warriors as well, and he's a top lightweight in the Australian division. They weren't like losses that are just easy losses for me. Like, they were tough, but the way I managed it is that, like, I just had to get back on my feet. I had to find myself again, physically and mentally. And just build on that confidence again, and I come back on that with that first fight after those 3 losses back to back against Dan Curry, and I've met some people after that. My last loss, I was talking to a lot of people, and just talking about the mental side of things and how you can train your mind to be a lot more stronger, and how you can defeat people within your mind before you even going out there to doing it on a world stage platform. And that was the biggest hurdle for me, was like the mental side of things in this sport, because it's MMA, boxing, kickboxing. It's not a sport. This is real life. You have to take this serious. You're going in there to hurt someone. You're not going in there to pass a ball around or kick a football or whatever it is. You're going in there to hurt someone. So you have to train your mind to be tough in certain situations. You have to train your mind to be strong, to overcome certain obstacles in the cage and outside the cage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. It's it's incredible. Those are the stories, man. Like, guys that start off well, kind of get in a slump, and then dig themselves out, man. It proves so much of how strong they are mentally and physically. Now, let's talk about your title defense coming up on March 20th against Dan Hill. He's an undefeated prospect. You faced these type of guys before. Thoughts on him and his style of fighting?
Look, I do know a bit about him. I don't know a lot outside of the fight game, but I do know that he's going to come in. He's going to bring, he seems like a pressure fighter. He's got good wrestling. He comes from one of the top MMA gyms in Australia. But to me, like, it's just as I said before, he's just another obstacle in my way. I've faced tough fights before in my career, and he's just another obstacle that's going to be in my way to the top. I know what I got to do to get this victory, and I know what I got to do in that cage, against Dan. It's not to say that he's not going to come and bring it, because he's going to come and bring it. This is another title defense, and I'm defending the title. He's fighting for the title. So there's two different ways this fight obviously can go. So I know what to expect of him, and I know what potentially he might come into the game plan with, but I just focus on what I got to do, focus on my game plan, and get that victory.
In your mind, are you going in there as a guy that's defending the belt, or you feel like you're just fighting for a new belt against Dan?
No, I don't care about if I'm defending the belt or fighting for the belt. I only care about the person in front of me. That's the way I think.
All right. Now, he also beat Dave Martinez and he earned a title shot with that. Did you watch that fight? What did you think of his performance?
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was a very good performance. And to be honest, I felt like that fight could have went either way, because Dave Martinez was winning in the first round. I feel like he got the first round and probably maybe edged the second, but Dan Hill overcome that first round like really well, because he was getting out grappled in that first round. But he come back in the second and put on a phenomenal last round, and props to him for getting that victory and earning this title shot.
So what do you visualize? What do you see? When you close your eyes and look at this fight, man, what do you see?
What do I see? I see myself winning. I've got the game plan in my head. I've got the round in my head. I just see myself, see my hand getting raised at the end of the fight. I know, people will say this is it's more mental than it is physical, and that's true. But you can't just go in there thinking that you got to win. Like, I know what I got to do to go into the win. I'm thinking positional in my head. I'm thinking the game plan in my head. I'm thinking positive outcomes. I'm thinking of certain situations I'm in when I'm in there, and getting out of these situations. And when I'm in there, I'm visualizing it. Like, that's when I close my eyes, I visualize every aspect of what could happen when I'm in there. But I'm also visualize. No, sorry, I'm just at work. my CEO just come in. But I'm also visualizing, my game plan, and I'm visualizing the round I'm going to finish him in, and I'm visualizing getting my hand raised at the end of it.
What's the plans for the rest of the year? The year is new. 2021 there's a lot ahead of us, right? So do you see yourself maybe, like, I believe maybe you're gonna go out to UAE if that's possible, or do you feel like Eternal's just gonna get more and more challengers for you for the belt? What do you see?
Look, brother, I don't care if I have to defend the belt again. I don't care if I fight on UAE Warriors again. Urban Fight Night, put on a show over the weekend. One of the the leading MMA promotions here in New South Wales. Get a shot on that. But we're all climbing for that one shot, and that's in the UFC. Look, ONE FC as well. I'm only a phone call away. I'd love to get a shot on ONE FC. But UFC, hopefully get a shot on the big show. That's the goal. You know what I mean? So, and I'm just got to do what I got to do here. Focus on the first fight. And focus on what's ahead of me first.
UFC 1, if you're watching this, you better call this man after this fight, because he needs to raise the bar, right? You need to raise the bar, get out there internationally.
Yeah, I'm fucking ready. Sorry for my language, but I'm fucking ready.
All right. Hey, before I let you go, I wanted to ask you about Urban Fight Night. I just saw an article about the dude that he got kicked in the calf and. What happened? Was his leg already broken? Because, man, it didn't seem like it was that devastating.
He was fine. Like, they started moving around. There was a filling out process, and Randall Ray just threw a inside leg kick, like one of those calf kicks. Calf kicks are the fucking thing of the new era these days, and I still don't even I can't throw one, because I don't even, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a part of my game plan. I'm going to have to start throwing one. But he threw just I think an inside calf kick, and I don't know, must have broke his fucking shin bone or something, and he went to land on it. It was like the Anderson Silva sort of fight
Yeah.
before. Did he fight Chris?
Yeah, Chris Weidman.
Yeah, and just he landed on it and it broke. Oh, it was disgusting,
Yeah.
but they're the things that you cringe about because you're just like, I hope that doesn't happen in my fight.
Yeah, definitely. Just that's one of the scariest things that could ever happen. And Randall Ray, he might have found the sweet spot. We don't know because most of the calf kicks are onto the outside of the calf, right? And he hit that inside calf kick. So, oh man, be careful. I just want to say, be careful to anybody that's out there throwing calf kicks or checking them.
All I know is if I don't want to spar Randall Ray after watching that fight, I'm no more sparring with him because I don't want those broken legs or anything.
Definitely.
I'm telling you, he's tough, man. Like he's just one of those tough motherfuckers when you're sparring against him. Sorry for my language, but
it's all good, man. It's all good. March 20th, man. Eternal MMA 58, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 58.
So, yeah.
All right, 58, Gold Coast, UFC Fight Pass. Go get that. Watch Josh Togo put in work. Thank you so much, Josh, for the time, man. Always good catching up with you. I always enjoy our chats, man. Thank you so much.
You too, brother. Thanks for the chat.